Let me talk to you man to man for a moment. Most men don't get betrayed because they're foolish. They get betrayed because they trust words more than patterns. I'm Janet, and in my years giving relationship advice for men, I've seen one truth repeat itself again and again. When a woman is cheating, her mouth can lie, but her body cannot stay silent for long. If you've ever felt something was off but couldn't prove it, this video is for you. Today, I'll help you decode female behavior and spot cheating signs before they destroy your peace. Stay with me and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the patterns most men learn too late. Sign 1. Eyes that can't hold the truth. Avoidance and wandering. Let's start with something most men overlook because it feels too subtle. Her eyes. In women's psychology, the eyes are deeply tied to emotional regulation. When a woman feels secure and honest, her gaze is relaxed. It's steady, present, and connected. But when guilt enters the picture, her eyes begin to behave differently long before her words change. When you ask a direct question about her whereabouts, her loyalty, or her emotional distance, notice what happens. Does she suddenly avoid eye contact? Does she look down, blink rapidly, or glance away just as you finish your sentence? That discomfort isn't random. It's her nervous system reacting to pressure from the truth. There's also another version of this sign that men often misread: wandering eyes. If her attention keeps drifting to her phone, the door, or the room around her while you're having a serious conversation, that divided focus matters. It signals that part of her mind is elsewhere. Often, it's with someone else. One of the most revealing moments is what I call the guilty microglance. You ask a direct question, and for a split second, her eyes dart away before she answers. That tiny movement happens before conscious control kicks in. Her body is retreating from the weight of what she knows she's hiding. Many men hear calm words and assume calm intentions, but behavior tells the real story. If you're starting to notice these eye patterns stacking up, don't brush them aside. Awareness is not paranoia, it's self-respect. If this resonates so far, tap the like button quietly. It tells me you're paying attention, and it helps this message reach men who need it. Stay with me because the next sign is one of the hardest for a cheating wife to control. Sign 2. Nervous laughter and an unsteady voice. Now let's talk about something that confuses a lot of men. Laughter. Laughter is supposed to signal ease and joy, but when it shows up in the wrong moment, it becomes a leak. When a woman laughs while being confronted about something serious, especially with a high-pitched or forced tone, that's not humor, that's anxiety escaping. Picture this. You calmly ask why she's been distant or secretive. Instead of answering directly, she laughs it off and calls you dramatic or insecure. That laugh doesn't match the moment. It feels thin, almost rehearsed. That mismatch is important. In Female Behavior Decoded, nervous laughter often pairs with changes in breathing. You may notice shallow breaths, uneven pacing, or audible sighs before she speaks. Her voice may tremble slightly or crack at odd moments. These aren't acting choices. They're physiological responses to stress and guilt. When someone is grounded in truth, their voice stays steady, their breathing remains calm. But when someone is walking a tightrope between what they say and what they hide, the body struggles to maintain control. Here's what many men regret later. They notice these cracks, but explain them away. They tell themselves she's just tired, emotional, or having a bad day. But cheating signs don't usually appear once. They repeat. They show up consistently during moments of accountability. I've coached men who ignored these signals for months because they didn't want to seem controlling, and by the time the truth surfaced, the damage was already done. If you've ever experienced that sinking feeling after ignoring your instincts, you're not alone. This is why dating advice for men must go beyond words and focus on patterns. Keep watching. In the next part, I'll break down how touch and physical closeness change when loyalty is compromised. That's where things become impossible to fake. Sign 3. Touch behavior that suddenly changes. Now let's move into one of the most revealing areas of female behavior: touch. Touch is not just physical. In women's psychology, it is emotional language. When a woman feels connected, safe, and loyal, touch flows naturally. It's relaxed, it's warm. Her body softens around you without effort. But when cheating enters the picture, touch becomes complicated. The same gestures that once felt natural begin to feel uncomfortable. Your arm around her waist may suddenly make her tense. A simple hug may feel stiff. She might subtly pull away or shift her body to create space. These movements are not accidents. They're unconscious reactions to internal conflict. Here's the deeper layer most men don't consider. When intimacy is being shared elsewhere, the body resists duplicating it. Guilt contaminates touch. Even if she wants to appear normal, her nervous system reacts before her mind can manage the performance. Now, pay close attention to the opposite behavior as well. Some women respond to guilt with overcompensation. Suddenly, she's more affectionate than usual. Excessive kissing, clinging, touch that feels exaggerated or forced. On the surface, it looks like passion, but underneath, it lacks flow. It feels mechanical, like she's trying to convince you or herself that everything is fine. Consistency is the key. Real intimacy is stable. When touch shifts abruptly from warm to cold or from distant to overly intense without a clear reason, something deeper is happening. If this is confirming instincts you've already felt but couldn't explain, quietly like this video. It helps men who need relationship advice for men find clarity instead of confusion. Sign 4. Defensive posture and restless hands. When a woman feels emotionally cornered, her body moves into protection mode. Even when her words say calm, her posture often tells a different story. Watch what happens during serious conversations. Does she suddenly cross her arms tightly over her chest? Does she angle her body away from you instead of facing you directly? These are defensive signals. They create psychological distance when emotional safety is compromised. Sometimes the defense shows up through objects. A pillow pulled close, a purse placed between you, a phone held tightly in front of her body. These physical barriers are not random, they are shields. Now look at her hands. Hands are often the loudest truth tellers. When guilt is present, nervous energy has to escape somewhere. You may notice her fidgeting with jewelry, tugging at clothing, tapping her fingers, twisting her hair, or biting her nails. These movements increase when direct questions are asked. Here's an important coaching point. Ask something specific like, "Who were you with last night?" Then stop talking. Watch her hands before you listen to her answer. If they immediately search for something to hold, hide behind, or manipulate, that's not coincidence. That's stress leaking through the body. Calm truth stays still. Guilt struggles to remain quiet. If this video is helping you put words to what you've already sensed, drop the word aware in the comments. It tells me this message is confirming your instincts, not creating fear. Stay with me. The final sign ties everything together, and once you understand it, you'll never look at her behavior the same way again. Sign 5. The energy shift you can feel but can't explain. This final sign is the one men often feel first, even before they can name it. Energy. Energy is not mystical. It's emotional consistency. When a woman is emotionally present and loyal, her energy around you feels natural. There is ease, there is warmth. Even silence feels comfortable. When cheating begins, that energy shifts. You may notice she walks into the room and something feels off. The playfulness is gone. The openness has faded. She's physically there, but emotionally distant. Conversations feel flat. Connection feels forced. Sometimes guilt shows up in the opposite direction. She becomes overly cheerful, hyper-attentive, almost performative in her affection. But instead of feeling reassuring, it feels effortful, like she's trying too hard to hold something together. In women's psychology, this happens because she's carrying two emotional realities, the one she presents to you and the one she hides. That internal split drains authenticity, and your body picks up on it, even if your mind tries to rationalize it away. This is where many men doubt themselves. They tell themselves they're overthinking. They ignore the tension because nothing bad enough has happened yet. But energy doesn't lie. It changes when loyalty shifts. Here's the deeper truth every dating coach for men eventually teaches. The body reacts before the brain can fabricate excuses. She may rehearse stories, she may control her tone, she may even cry on cue, but she cannot fully command her subconscious behavior. That's why cheating signs rarely appear alone. They stack. Eyes avoiding, laughter cracking, touch shifting, posture guarding, energy cooling or overcompensating. Each sign alone can be dismissed. Together, they form a pattern. This does not mean every nervous moment equals betrayal. People have stress, people have bad days, but when these behaviors appear consistently during moments where trust matters most, they stop being coincidences. They become communication. Let me say this to you personally. You are not wrong for wanting clarity. You are not insecure for noticing patterns. Awareness is strength, not weakness. If this video helped you see your situation more clearly, subscribe and share it with a man who needs perspective. Drop your personal experience in the comments. Your story could be the moment another man stops ignoring his instincts. This channel exists to decode female behavior, expose cheating signs, and offer real relationship advice for men. Stay here, stay aware, and never ignore what her behavior is quietly telling you.